Spirit guides, universe, and angels, please stand beside me and guide me for Capricorn's highest good. How is Capricorn feeling in the final days of July 2025 and the beginning days of August 2025 with regards to what they're thinking about or dealing with or manifesting in? 3 cards for Capricorn, please. Right, in the challenge position, we've got the 4 of Pentacles, which is the miser. We've got the Empress, and we've got the Strength card. No, not the Strength card, sorry. It's all the way sharing. It's the 6 of Pentacles. It's about equality, fairness, equal give and take. So, if these were this way, this would be a very, very nice combination. This is someone that's very generous, wants fairness, is an excellent provider, the best, being the Empress, like, you're always going to be spoiled. This is outgoings of money. It's the opposite of the miser. It's spending, giving, sharing. If we were to turn these round, something would be unfair. Someone would be like greedy. They would be holding on to their money. They'd be very selfish. Okay, so this is the challenge. How to share, how to be fair. How to consider others as well as ourselves. There's some fears over sharing a life with another person. I think you're worried, Capricorn, about how that would work, what it would mean, whether it would suit you or not. You know, sometimes we like to preserve what we have, to be independent, to not conform to social norms and always be exclusive with a person or live with a person or marry a person, to have joint bank accounts. There's different ways of doing life. Some people never marry the person that they love. Some people always have separate bank accounts, you know, and they love each other and they're a really good team. But it just depends how you've been brought up, what life experiences you've had, your own characteristics. Like, it's not always a good idea, you know, to put everything together. So, yeah, for example, if you get a joint bank account with someone and it's always your money going in, but it's always your money going out, and you're not the one withdrawing the money, you know, it's not cool. Like, that's really fucking, you know, daft, isn't it? Like, people do it because they're like, oh, well, we're married, we need to put everything together, what's yours is mine, and all the rest of it. Well, that's fair if you agree on everything that's spent out of there. But if someone's just going wild or taking the piss with it, or they're not trustworthy, you know, or they get some sort of addiction, or I don't know, you got like a real, it could be disaster, couldn't it? It could be disaster, and it's absolutely fine to keep things separate, you know. Probably more realistic to keep things separate because you just do not know the day that someone turns around and says, I'm not really happy being with you anymore, or something like this. My opinion on that changes all the time, by the way, but it's worked very well for me keeping things separate. I do think you're worried about losing your independence, because this is the Three of Pentacles is teamwork. Three is a number of community, so it could be a workplace or it could be working together in a relationship, working together with family. You've got some fears about this going forward. Someone could have asked you to move in, or you could have, considered asking them to move in, or it could be like you've been dating someone for a while and they're like, well, what are we, Hi, I'm doing collective readings by zodiac sign. If you want to buy an individual reading, you can do, but I would need to record it and send it to you, and it would be £18. The link is in my channel description. These are free collective readings, and to be honest, if you follow the narrative for your sign or your person's sign, you should get the answers that you want. The Strength card reversed and the Knight of Swords reversed. Something needs to be communicated, something needs to be said, and we're holding it back because we're worried about upsetting the other person. When it comes to money and like big things like taking the next step, moving in together, you got to talk about it beforehand. You got to. Even if you think it's like not that romantic, you need to talk about it. Right, your person, the one that's on your mind, the one that you're dealing with, or the one that you're manifesting in, I think you probably are dealing with someone at the moment. But let's see. We've got the High Priestess reversed. They're unclear about what to do as well. Okay, they're doubting their judgment at the moment. Okay, so in the end, they have decided that they don't need to think about it anymore. They're ready to take a leap of faith. They can afford to make this, move. Enough was being achieved, enough was being acquired previously for them to be in a decent position. Page of Swords, they're going to communicate, okay? They're going to talk to you about all of this. They could be a Virgo. They don't have to be. We've got Virgo and Pisces energy in front of us. The Chariot. Okay, so the Chariot is reversed. It's the major for Cancers. They could be Cancer or have that in their chart. This is someone they are tentative, okay? They're taking a pause because although they're taking a leap of faith, okay, they are worried, they are concerned, they are nervous about it. So They might say, look, I want to talk to you beforehand, or like, let's have a sit down, have a proper chat about it. Let's like talk about expectations. Let's talk about how this is going to work. I think they're going to take the initiative because they're not really happy to proceed until it happens, until this conversation happens, and you look like worried about upsetting them. So I think it'll be them that strikes up the conversation, that initiates the conversation. Okay, let's get 3 for the outcome. Thanks for the loves. 9 of Swords reverse. Yeah, dropping the burdens, dropping the anxieties, the worries, the fears. Just have a conversation about it. Two more for the outcome, please. Oh, 8 of Cups. Why have we got that? Eight of Swords, 5 of Cups reversed. I wasn't expecting that. You may not be able to see eye to eye over, like, you could have very different expectations, or Capricorn, you might feel that you've got cold feet, or they might. Let's get one more for the outcome. 8 of Cups is like leaving a relationship. It's ending things. It could be that. It could be that there's a bump in the road, okay, like the relationship gets put on pause. Then, you know, it's on both of your minds and you regret not doing this. Like, because then I'm saying that because we've got the 8 of Pentacles also in the outcome. So that's growth and expansion, that's investment. It's trying to become the 9 of Pentacles, which is abundant, self-sufficient. It's also, you know, a stepping stone away from the 10 of Pentacles, lasting generational wealth. Normally what you acquire when you put 2 incomes together, 2 sets of savings together, you know, solidify assets into a house or whatever, like. I think you've got more than they have, because you're showing up as the Empress. And I think you're really worried about sharing what you've acquired over the years with someone. They do have savings. They have got to a point where they've got enough, but the chariot overturned is like failure, loss, or defeat at the last minute. Okay, and they wanted to take a leap of faith, so that's a shame. I wonder if you reject them. Someone ends this, and then worries about it, and then maybe you decide to just wait a bit longer, or it seems like you stay together and then decide to take on more work, like maybe like more shifts, or like work more days a week, or get a promotion, or add more trades, to your skill set or something, like um or they do, but there's investment into the future, there's growth and expansion. Action is taken to grow and expand and like continue to build pentacles. So whether that's together or apart is on you, Capricorn, I think. Because you've got more to lose, okay? But it doesn't mean that you're going to lose by getting with this person. I think that's like a strange mindset that people have, isn't it? It's more like fear, really. There's nothing wrong with waiting, but how long have you got? If you're an empress, maybe you're older, and how long have you really got? Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to maybe get used to sharing again and trusting again. If this person's trustworthy, like you would have a good idea of that after like 6 months of knowing a person. 3 months is too early. 6 months, you know a person. You know whether they're good for money or not. You know whether, they've got addictions or regular, income. Like, you might not know whether they've got savings, or you might not know whether they've lied to you about certain things. But I would say after a year, like, you definitely, in the UK, we wait longer. Like, I know in Italy and like other places that I've lived, people can move far more quickly, but you can always rent somewhere together. You don't have to just, I think people are nuts, just getting a house together straight away. That's the biggest commitment. That's bigger than getting married, I think. Getting a huge debt, a house on a mortgage is a huge debt, and you're in big trouble if you can't pay that together. So to do that together very, very quickly is ridiculous. I think there's nothing wrong with renting for a while. People say it's dead money, it's dead money. No, it gives you a chance to see if you can live together and you're both able to pay half on a regular basis consistently. How you work living together as well. Like, do you actually operate as a team? Are you, like, gelling? Are you meshing with each other? Or are you pissing each other off? Because if you just go straight into a commitment, like a lifelong commitment, a huge debt, like paying off a house together, what if you don't get along with each other within a few months, or like within a few weeks? It's the biggest commitment you can take on. It's a massive debt. Like, so I just don't understand. Like, in the UK, people seem to get a house together and then they split up like within a week or something. I don't get it, but I just think it's bizarre. People need to stop using that phrase, it's dead money, it's dead money. When you went, you gave yourselves a chance to see what it's like being in a proper grown-up relationship without gigantic consequences, you know. Let it flow, let it grow. Stop and let it all grow around you for a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. Being yourself is sacred. See with eyes of love. Yeah, give the person a chance, but you don't have to like make mega financial commitments to them. You don't have to put your assets on the line. You don't have to, you know, risk it all. Enjoy having a relationship, take baby steps, find ways to take small, calculated risks rather than horrific ones. If the consequences would be terrible, don't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, find a way to progress the relationship without putting everything absolutely on the line. You don't need to do that. Me and my Italian, we moved in together after weeks of dating, but I could see what kind of person he was. We're very traditional, very very open, very honest, very caring, you know, attentive, like I'd met his family and I knew what I was getting myself in for, you know what I mean? Like I knew he was gonna be like a good bet and he was, but it's still a risk. There's no way I would do that with 99.99% of people because you just can't, like. And we rented, we didn't get a house together, that would have been ridiculous. We were together for years before we talked about getting a house and we were such a good team. Yeah, it's not pointless renting for a while. You need to like give yourselves like it's like trying to ride a bike without using the stabilizers for a while. You gotta see how it works. Do you know what I mean? For example, in the time that we were renting a place together, I was able to let him know that I'm not going to be doing all of the washing and the cooking and the cleaning. Okay, it's going to be 50-50. I was able to let him know that I'm not going out to 6 different shops every single day once we've decided what we're going to eat. No, like we're going to do a weekly shop so that we can be tired and remain at home during the week. You know, like we had to iron out the kinks and you know, and it you need a chance to do things like that before getting into gigantic commitments with each other. And we loved our little home and we took care of each other, do you know what I mean? And like it actually worked really, really well, but in the end we each wanted the other person to move to our own country. So how does that work? You end up splitting up. But the actual relationship worked really well. So I do think that you'll decide to avoid maybe like fully committing to this person for now. But you'll continue to grow the relationship. Find a way to do it without putting it all on the line because You don't need to go from 0 to 100, okay? 0 to 60 maybe. Right, let's get you some advice, some more advice. I don't see anything terrible about this person, and I think you're already involved with it. So I'm not going to clarify their cards. I don't see drama. Evolution starts when you leave your comfort zone. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Growth. Oh, cute. Yeah. We need to like broaden our horizons and start to see the bigger picture, maybe, Capricorn, you know? Like, do take some steps. Do have like loving space for someone special. If you think this person's worth it, you know, step over that threshold and try a little bit more give and take, a little bit more compromise. It's nice to come home to someone cooking for you. It's nice to be home and be cooking, knowing that someone's coming to eat that meal with you and not just making a plate for yourself. There's nothing more fucking depressing than sitting in your own place. If you say anything out loud and no one's going to hear it, it's not that great, like living by yourself. It's lovely to make a meal and do it in a purposeful way and not ram it down quickly because you're just lonely. Like, to be able to sit and have a meal together and, it relaxes you, it calms you down. You get to talk about your day, you get to cuddle on the couch, you get to go to bed together, go to sleep in your little nest feeling safe. It's nice. It's nice to cohabit if it's working, if it's a good match. Okay, so do allow things to progress with this person, but do it sensibly, okay? Don't take stupid risks. But Spirit's urging you to step out of your comfort zone. Don't try to control and keep everything how it is, because you know that a good person will leave if they don't see progression. A good person will leave if they don't see progression, okay? I, after a while, wanted more progression and I left. And I'm still in love with that person, do you know what I mean? Like, it's very sad that we're not together, but a good person will expect progression that's realistic for a certain time frame. And if you don't give them that, then you're going to lose them. So you need to think about it like that as well. You're not really giving them anything to hang around for, are you? I am thankful for all my emotional experiences as they have shaped who I am today. Positive affirmation. I am capable of creating a life filled with joy and happiness. Okay, so we haven't got to be practical all the time. Our only approach in life doesn't have to be careful and practical. It can be a life shared, it can be reciprocal, it can be symbiotic, it can be companionship. It's okay to be cautious, but we don't have to be, solitary for the rest of our lives. We don't have to just keep our defenses up. Sometimes change is good. Yeah, union can be fantastic. give it some consideration. All right, take care, Capricorn. If you liked this reading, if you feel like it's resonating, please give it a like, share, subscribe, follow, repost, support the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll see you in the next one. When me and my person split up, you know, it's a matter of like them taking on the whole rent, which is different to, you know, us having to legally buy each other out of a mortgage or something like this. Like, it's much harder and scarier to do stuff like that. So that's what renting does, you know. It's not like, it just lets you test the water and see what it'd be like to be living in a house together without it being forever, because then you can make it forever, but you can't undo it very easily at all. If you've got a mortgage together, that's going to affect your credit rating, you know, whether you've got different banking and saving options. If you've already been a buyer, if you're not a first-time buyer, everything's harder. Like, it's a huge commitment.